Let's make sense of that recent media briefing from the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Tamintulu, who's just wrapped up an update, an announcement is what he calls it, in response to the adverse weather conditions that the province has seen over the past couple of weeks and perhaps even the past couple of years. The province, of course, being saddled with devastating storms in the past that have led to a number of fatalities, and more recently we've seen the blizzard along the N3 causing havoc for parts of that province, especially near Van Rynen's Pass, leading to the deaths of 2 people, we're told, due to hypothermia. So we decided to bring our Azwi Tuwani. He, of course, is part of our weather desk team here at the SABC News Channel to take in what the Premier has said and to make sense of whether or not those solutions could work. Azwi, thanks for popping by. Great to see you.
No.
All right, so let's start with part of what the Premier said insofar as the early warning signs are concerned. I mean, in the line of work you do, I'm sure that is incredibly crucial. It's one thing to be able to prepare for the adverse weather conditions, and it's another to be able to do so in time.
Yes. Looking at preparing, because now the early warnings are always issued, and they were given looking at the previous snowfall that we had. We received centimeters that we have never received before, but the warning said that it was level 6, meaning that high impacts and the likelihood for it to happen, it was quite high. But the thing was, what do we prepare? What do we do? Because we've never received what we have received, but it was said that it is going to be disruptive. And as forecasters or meteorologists, we do not have the power to communicate to society to say maybe at this time and this time. We can only suggest to them that you can stay at home. That would be a safety measure for you. But to tell the people to evacuate or to block the roads, we cannot do that. So we only issue information as we are given and as we see it. And we always communicate it, but how the people out there receive it, it is also impacted by what we have seen previously, because mostly whenever we issue a warning that is associated with a tropical cyclone, people do move and do make means that they need to be in a safe area. But with snow, we've never received something like that in South Africa. So that is one of the causes. But as we talk about this, we also look at the issue of climate change, that our climate is changing or is being affected by the change in the global warming. Or global warming is affecting the change in our local weather. So as it happens, we just need to always take all the warnings very seriously, because you will never know the amount of snow that's going to fall, or the amount of rainfall that you're going to receive, or the strength of the wind that we're going to get associated with a tropical cyclone or maybe with a thunderstorm.
Yeah, I find it very interesting that a lot of what the Premier had to say is postured around this being climate change. And I'm only saying that because, at least in my kind of observing, I see there's still a debate around whether or not this is actually just expected temperatures and expected weather, or if in fact we are starting to see a slight deviation from what we typically should anticipate around this time of the year.
Yeah, what we expect this time of the year is that there could be a cold front. It is nothing new. There could be a cut of low. It is what we expect, and we always get them this time of the year. But the way how they are getting stronger and stronger, this is now where we define climate change. It makes them very strong, and the impacts are quite huge. This is why we had a cut of low that also brought us this amount of snow that we have never received before. Because in my line of work, 10 years of reporting weather and also giving a forecast and also issuing warnings, we have never come across results like this one before throughout the whole South Africa, even Lesotho. But with Lesotho, they do receive lots and lots of snow, but it is something that they are used to more than some areas in KwaZulu-Natal, going to Free State and Eastern Cape.
Yeah, I remember them saying, some of your colleagues in the industry, the last time we received snow, at least around this time of the year, was back in the 1960s. And even then, it wasn't as severe. So to your point, it seems these weather events are becoming a whole lot more extreme than what we're used to. But speaking about those cut-off lows and cold fronts. We're expecting another one on Sunday, which, if you're making weekend plans, I suppose you better listen up.
Yeah, we are expecting another cold front, a much weaker one than what we have seen previously. It is going to bring in cold conditions over the eastern interior, not affecting the interior mostly. So its trajectory is through Western Cape, Eastern Cape, and just exiting the subcontinent through KwaZulu-Natal. If there should be snowfall, we're not seeing a lot of snowfall. Possibilities, just light rains are over the high-lying areas. But we urge the viewers to always watch SABC News, as we will keep them updated with all the warnings associated with the coming cold front.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I let you go, I do find there's still a lot of confusion around what to expect in December. I mean, there was that media briefing held by the South African Weather Service, I think it was earlier this week. So we are entering the El Niño phenomenon, which is La Niña, sorry,
yes.
Which is associated with above average rainfall.
Yes.
However, it's a weak one, so we're not really expecting a lot of rainfall. Perhaps you could decode that for us.
Okay, so with this weak La Niña, or in the initial stage of it, we are expecting normal rainfalls that we normally get in the summer season in South Africa. So if we do get enough rainfall for our crops to give a good crop yield, so this is what we are expecting. However, we should never forget the issue of climate change, because it changes a lot. Just a small change, it can affect the whole crop yield, because now we are seeing that we're starting to get a lot of hailstorms. Now that can affect your crop as well in the early stages, and we are seeing that in these areas in South Africa, we are starting to see more and more of it, and the period of rainfall is getting shorter and shorter. So this is why we are getting affected. Even in the La Niña phase, we still need to be very careful agriculturally to plan that if ever we run out of rainfall, or maybe we spend 2 to 3 weeks without rainfall, how are we going to irrigate our farms?
Yeah, especially because what we're also being told is that this week La Niña is being accompanied by above average temperatures,
yes,
as it were. So yeah, not as much rain and possibly hotter than usual.
Extremely hot conditions expected, because already there's been in the light that we are going to get some heat waves that will be much hotter than what we have received before. So that is something to worry about. And if that can be coupled with some light winds or strong winds, it means that the moisture that we're going to have in our soil after the rain, it will quickly evaporate, meaning that we need to do something if we are looking at our crops and mostly all agricultural products.
Absolutely. All right, Tuwani, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us, helping us make sense of the weather patterns that we're seeing in this country, certainly not only for the past couple of weeks, but also for the weeks ahead as we count down to the end of the year, dare I say, in October. But again, Tuwani will have a full weather update for you as we hit the home stretch of the hour.